And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Hello, and thanks for joining us for this Thursday's edition of Alaska Weather. Up first on the fire weather update slide here, we've got for today red flag warnings for portions of the interior today and tomorrow, and fuels are very dry and burn permits are suspended, and that's up north of the Alaska Range in that area, the Upper Tanana Valley 40-mile country locations. And fuels across western and south central Alaska are much less burnable due to the wet and cool weather. Very warm and dry for the panhandle with moderate humidity. And the outlook is warm and dry weather for the southeast coastal areas. And that will prime surface fuels for burning, but deeper fuels will remain less receptive to fire. Next chart here showing fire danger forecast for tomorrow for grass. Extreme here on the north side of the Alaska Range, otherwise very high. All of the Upper Tanana Valley 40-mile country down into the eastern Alaska Range and more widespread over the Copper River Basin. And also building here, very high fire danger, central and southern southeast coast, and also up around the Haines area. And for spruce, still extreme even for spruce here in the just north of the Alaska Range there, and then areas of high to very high fire danger over much of the eastern interior south of the Brooks Range, in over toward Fairbanks and Copper River Basin, and high fire danger for spruce over a good portion of the southeast coast now. And from there, taking a look at the hazardous weather graphic, have a wind advisory remains out till 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, Friday morning, for the Alaska Range for 40 to 60 mile an hour winds. And a flood watch out for the northern panhandle there for the Chilkat River for possible flooding due to snow melt with the warm temperatures, high freezing levels. And that could, so watch out for possible flooding in those areas starting late tomorrow and tomorrow night into Saturday. Satellite imagery showing a front here, slow moving eastward, south to north flow here, bringing some pretty good rainfall just east of Kodiak Island into Seldovia, anywhere from a half to 1.5 inches of rain falling in the last 24 hours in toward Iliamna and up over western Cook Inlet, and lesser amounts over the Kenai Peninsula, but still anywhere from 1/10 to 1/2 inch of rain falling during the day today in some areas. And then that really lets up only 0.05 of an inch. Today fell at Portage Glacier, for example, otherwise dry off to the east. And clouds spreading into the eastern interior, but temperatures still got into the 80s. Chicken had 86 for a high temperature today and about 84 at Eagle, with lower 80s all the way down into the Copper River Basin. Sunshine across the southeast coast, highs in the upper 60s to upper 70s, maybe a few 80s showing up there as well. And then lighter rainfall amounts with this area of clouds here out to the west, low pressure near the Pribilof Islands. And back to the west, next front pushing some rain into Adak and Atka today. This low just kicking off some showers. And this slow moving front, this low actually going to kick up to the northeast, the low aloft. Actually, this portion down here is going to kick up to the northeast. And now finally push that front through. And so pretty good rainfall tonight here for areas of south central Alaska, extending back to the northwest, becoming lighter. Clouds increasing here in showers gradually moving eastward, as you can see. Later tonight, chance of showers or thunderstorms into the eastern interior. Just a risk here over toward the Upper Tanana Valley area. It's probably staying dry north of the Alaska Range. But back to the west, much better chance of some rain and shower activity with cloudy skies all the way down to the eastern Aleutians. A little bit of a break here, but not much for the Fox Islands. Next system keeps it wet over the central Aleutians, stays dry with light winds. Maybe some low clouds pressing up to the coast of the Panhandle tonight, possible fog there. But tomorrow that'll burn off wherever that, especially over the inside waters, wherever that moves in. So looking at a mostly sunny day there. Cooler, cloudier, and chance of showers eastern interior. Better chance here back to the west, the upper trough swinging northeastward. So rainfall will be a little bit more pronounced here over the central interior up to the Brooks Range there, and then drying out back toward the west coast areas. And this weak front will bring some light rain to the Pribilof Islands, Fox Islands, Not too bad for Adak and Atka, maybe some sun breaks, light winds, and the next front pushing rain into the western Aleutians, which on Friday, that low kind of hangs back to the west there and the front elongates out. Pretty strong westerly flow here along and just south of the Aleutians, stretches that out, spreads rain into the eastern Aleutians. Southwest flow brings rain into the Alaska Peninsula, to a lesser extent into Bristol Bay, but this trough here, really that'll bring the rain into the southwest interior again, spreading northward. Another weak trough, wet conditions for the Seward Peninsula, and showers or areas of light rain for the North Slope, Brooks Range into the central interior. Mostly sunny, Prince William Sound, Valdez, Cordova into the Copper River Basin. And maybe a dry day for Cook Inlet and the Kenai Peninsula, showers in the Susitna Valley. And the southeast coast here, not much change, maybe a risk of a shower or two or thunderstorm over toward the eastern border or just north of Yakutat. Lows down that way tonight in the 50s, some cases upper 50s, otherwise mid-50s. And mid-50s Copper River Basin, the breezy conditions there. Everywhere else in the upper 40s to lower 50s, cooler west of the mountains here. Bristol Bay, Kuskokwim Valley, followed by highs tomorrow. In the upper 70s, again, in the Copper River Basin, some areas here over toward the northeast, they're reaching the lower 80s once again. Otherwise, in the 50s, 55 to 60 again, south central Alaska, Kenai Peninsula, all the way to Kodiak Island. 50s for the Bristol Bay area, Kuskokwim Valley. 70s to lower 80s for the southeast coast. Lows in the 40s here over much interior Alaska, still in the 50s for the Panhandle. And then highs, 70s, 5 to 85 here, depending on your proximity to the water there and the outer coastline, with mid-70s all the way up in toward Juneau, Skagway, maybe 80s again for the Haines area. And up to the north, lows 55 to 60 over the eastern interior here. In fact, mid-60s forecast Eielson Air Force Base, 60 near Tok and Northway. Mid-30s, though, for the central coast of the Arctic, and upper 30s St. Lawrence Island. And for Friday afternoon highs, Eagle near 90 in the forecast, depending on how much clouds get in that way, and upper 80s all the way down to Northway and Tok. Fort Yukon, about 80, much cooler as you head west here into the lower to mid-60s into the central interior, 75 for Fairbanks. And Saturday morning lows in the 50s, followed by highs, much cooler Saturday afternoon here for the eastern interior, down into the mid-70s now, mid to upper 60s, central part of the state, upper 40s to mid-50s, Seward Peninsula, and out to the southwest coast, lows in the 40s. Lower to mid-40s for the Aleutians, Pribilofs, upper 30s, St. Lawrence Island. Highs for the day on Friday, 50 to 55. Nikolsky maybe in the upper 40s as well as Shemya, followed by lows in the 40s, highs in the 50s.